Today, as we inaugurate the year-long celebration of the centenary of Ateneo de Zamboanga, we are called in this Eucharist to proclaim 3 words, only 3. The first word, of course, is gracias. We say gracias for the 100 years of grace that the Lord has given us in Ateneo de Zamboanga. We remember with fondness the many Jesuits and lay partners who have shared their gifts through the years, starting with Father Manuel Sauras and Father Eusebio Salvador, all the way to our present-day leaders led by Father Tony Moreno. We say gracias to the many teachers who have walked the corridors of this school, past and present, and blessed it with their wisdom. Today we are graced especially, and we mention those who are here with us, former rectors and presidents, Father Mon Mores, Father Ernie Carretero, and Father Bill Kreutz. To all of you, men and women of Ateneo de Zamboanga, we say gracias. We also say gracias to many special friends who have assisted us in this ministry. Many different religious men and women, many diocesan priests, many other lay friends, benefactors who have accompanied this work through the years. We are very blessed to have had as a very special friend Archbishop Romulo Valles, of course, who is here with us all the way from Davao. But my friends, our thankfulness deepens further when we see that while in 1912, 100 years ago, the great Titanic sailed and sank, our humble Escuela Católica, which was also inaugurated in 1912, continues to thrive to this day. It is now the Ateneo de Zamboanga, a highly respected institution of basic and higher education in Western Mindanao. We have grown in numbers. This past year, the highest ever enrollment in the school's history. From the little huts in Plaza Pershing to this steady home in La Purísima, we have built our buildings gradually and painstakingly, expanding even to a separate campus in Tumaga. There is still much to do, but for now, we thank God for all of these, and we count our blessings. But you know, more than the buildings and the programs are our outstanding alumni and alumnae. I cannot mention them all, there are too many. Many people who have contributed much to Zamboanga and to the Philippines. Many who have served quietly and unassumingly as true men and women for others. These are the true gems of Ateneo de Zamboanga, and it is for them and to them that we say gracias. Indeed, we cannot not say gracias, not because we ended up better off than the Titanic, not because we deserve more, not because we worked harder, not because we accomplished more good and this is our reward. We say gracias out of a deep sense that the only reason we continue to grow is because God has gifted us with what we have and who we are as a university, and that we should never forget. The second word after gracias is Viva. Not just Viva, but Viva Ateneo! Viva Ateneo! 3 veces, por favor. Viva Ateneo! Viva Ateneo! Viva Ateneo! Na, may nahuli pa doon. Anyway, Viva is a very beautiful word. Simply translated, it means long live. Long live the Ateneo de Zamboanga. Mabuhay. It is an affirmation of all the good that has happened and a desire that because it has done so much good, the Ateneo should live on and live longer and be stronger. I wonder though if we really understand what it means for an institution like Ateneo de Zamboanga to have life. You know, a few days ago, I was in Macau for the meeting of Jesuit Major Superiors of Asia Pacific. We were not there to bet in the casinos. We were there for a meeting. Macau is a fascinating city with fancy malls, stores of all the big brand names, luxurious hotels and resorts, impressive bridges and roads. But most of all, it is known as the gambling center of Asia, with its 40 casinos, offering everything from roulettes to blackjack and poker tables to slot machines, you name it. One of our Jesuits there tells me that when you enter a casino, time seems to stop. Whether day or night, the same bright lights are maintained 24 hours a day. You can enter anytime. The lights are the same. The temperature is kept constant. The same tables are always open with a friendly face available to assist you with your bets. You are brought into this dream world where all problems seem to vanish, burdens forgotten, cares and concerns put on hold, and you can just concentrate on the one very easy task before you, which is to gamble. It is very tempting to be rid of all the pains and difficulties of life, even for a moment, until you realize that this is not really life at all. Life is not about having no more problems. Life is not about having no more difficulties. Life is not about being in an artificial world. Life is about always being in the here and now and allowing ourselves to be challenged to find the right solutions squarely. And so when we say Viva Ateneo, we wish Ateneo life, not artificial or fake life, but real, with all the gifts and hopes and surprises, but also with all the pains and frustrations and challenges that go with it. We wish Ateneo de Zamboanga more life, with a heart that never ceases to beat and pump blood with all the fire and passion for what is good and noble and of real value for Zamboanga, for Mindanao, for the Philippines. Never losing hope and always ready to ask, where are we now here in Zamboanga? Where do we want to go? What do we want to happen? And how do we build our lives for Zamboanga, for Mindanao? I do not know how many of you, after studying, will come back to Zamboanga. I hope some will, and make a difference for this city. There is so much to do for Zamboanga, and if we do not start, who will do it? In the first reading, Moses reminds the people of Israel that they have before them good and bad, life and death, blessing and curse, and that they must choose life. And so for Ateneo de Zamboanga, we choose life. Viva! Viva! Mabuhay! Not death and not curse, but blessing and life, to live for the noble causes of the Ateneo. Finally, a third word, and it is a Spanish word which I think you still use nowadays here, but more the older people would use more often, and the word is Adelante. It means to go forward, right? To go ahead. But it's not just Adelante, it means Adelante kita, let's go. If Gracias looks back and Viva brings us to the present, Adelante takes us to the future. On the one hand, Adelante invites us to consider new responses, new programs and facilities, new degrees, new frontiers for our students and faculty. But on the other hand, Adelante also has to do with allowing the good that we already have to really take root in our hearts. Take peace, for example. Ateneo de Zamboanga has taken peace advocacy as one of its core missions. And truly, much has been done. Peace education, a peace curriculum, different peace advocacies. All this is good. But now we are challenged to take peace to heart by being at home with the other who does not share our faith or our ideals or our ways of life, by being open to engaging and finding ways of working together beyond our differences, by taking care to listen and learn from the other and being always deliberately inclusive, to include everybody, Christians, Muslims, Lumads, Chabacanos, Visaya, Tausug, rich, poor. Everyone should be in. No one should be fuera. Taking peace to heart has to do with breaking down all prejudices and living in mutual respect. And peace will not be an ideal out there, but a lived reality in every aspect of our daily lives. And so we say Adelante, not just for peace, but also for the deepening of our Ignatian spirituality, for our drive for equality and social justice and the conquest of poverty, for our continuing witness to truth, for our desire for good governance that is transparent and honest and accountable. Adelante means taking to heart all our ideals and allowing them to truly take root in our lives. My friends, we celebrate 100 years of Ateneo de Zamboanga, and today we say Gracias, we say Viva, and we say Adelante. We look back in gratitude. We live energized by the challenges of the present, and we move towards the deepening of everything we hold dear as Ateneans. And all this we do in the spirit of Saint Ignatius of Loyola, whose feast we celebrate this day, who knew that a life of meaning is one that is lived in sacrifice and self-denial. For as the gospel in today's reading says, whoever would save his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life will save it. For what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses or forfeits himself? And so, just as Ignatius offered his life in service, so do we as Ateneo de Zamboanga for those we love, pro Deo, pro Patria, et pro Zamboanga.